Welcome. My name is Magdalena Glas, and I'm happy to present the paper Train as You Fight, Evaluating Authentic Cybersecurity Training in Cyber Ranges. This work was carried out by me and my co-authors, Manfred Vielberth and Guenther Pernul, from University of Regensburg in Germany. Given the ever-growing number of cybercrimes, the demand of skilled cybersecurity professionals outpaces supply. In 2022, only 52% of this demand could be filled. On the other hand, 3.7 million positions in cybersecurity remained open. This is what's called the cybersecurity workforce gap. The consequences of this workforce gap are drastic. For example, unpatched systems and, as a result, unrecognized attacks. Cybersecurity training, equipping people with the skills and knowledge they need to work in cybersecurity positions, is crucial to address this problem. A novel approach for cybersecurity training are exercises in cyber ranges. Cyber ranges are representations of parts of organizations, systems, or applications that can be used for cybersecurity training and testing. Like someone can practice to shoot on a shooting range, a cyber range provides a safe and legal environment for cybersecurity training. In a cyber range exercise, short CRX, trainees can experience real-world cyber attacks to learn and practice hands-on cybersecurity skills. As for any learning environment or a software product, which a cyber range is, it is necessary to evaluate if it fulfills its intended purpose. However, when CRXs are proposed in the literature, evaluation is often neglected. We think that evaluation is crucial for a CRX to reach its full potential. For this reason, we address the research question, how can CRXs be evaluated? To do so, we follow a 7-step method. First, we conducted a literature review to analyze the state-of-the-art in CRX evaluation. As a next step, we developed the target framework, consisting of the target taxonomy for CRX evaluation criteria and the target evaluation process. Finally, we applied the framework to evaluate a CRX, Iceberg, we developed at our university. This shows the applicability of the framework and should serve as a guideline for other CRX designers. We used a set of papers to analyze the state-of-the-art of CRX evaluation. Out of the 57 papers, 28 did not include any kind of evaluation. The others differed highly in what was evaluated. Some only concentrated on learning parts of the training, so what did trainees learn? Others only evaluated technical aspects. This shows that best practices in evaluation that are applicable to any kind of CRX do not really exist. This indicates that there is a need for a framework that facilitates evaluation and thus enables more CRX designers to evaluate their concepts. As I said, CRXs are very heterogeneous. For example, what types of attacks are deployed, or what target groups they address. We wanted that our framework provides the flexibility to evaluate all these kinds of different CRXs with different kind of foci. To this end, we aimed for a goal-based evaluation approach. This means CRX designers can choose which aspects of their CRX they want to put the evaluation focus on. To make this decision, which aspects should be targeted by the evaluation as informed as possible, we extracted evaluation goals, or how we call it criteria, from the literature. To this end, we used our set of 57 papers to extract overall 75 criteria. These criteria were classified in 8 dimensions. 3 dimensions in the domain learning, namely learning impact, learning outcome, learning experience. The others are scenario, management, monitoring, and environment. The taxonomy is part of the target process, which advises to first select criteria, then define metrics to measure this criteria. On this basis, the evaluation procedure can be defined and designed and the evaluation conducted. To make the evaluation framework more tangible, we instantiated it for a CRX we recently developed for students in 2 cybersecurity courses at our university. We developed the CRX Iceberg to introduce the students to incident response. This means how to detect and handle cybersecurity incidents. To this end, we simulated an industrial system and an attacker who tries to interfere with the system by conducting an attack. Through this simulation, the trainees learn about practical incident response. They solve a sequence of tasks in which they learn to identify the attack, eliminate the attacker, and restore the network. We evaluated Iceberg to assess if it should be a permanent part of the 2 cybersecurity courses. Following the target process, we first selected those criteria of the taxonomy that were most relevant for the purpose of our evaluation. Overall, these were 18 criteria. For each criterion, we defined 1 or more metrics with which it should be measured. As an example, we selected the criterion defensive cybersecurity skills in the learning outcome dimension. This criterion was measured by assessing the trainees' skills with a multiple choice questionnaire before and after the training. The evaluation consisted of a functional assessment of the CRX, a dry run to test the technical infrastructure, and finally a user study. This user study was conducted with 50 students out of the 2 courses the CRX was developed for. The target framework helped us to identify that Iceberg showed very good results when it came to how and what trainees learned. However, if we want to conduct the training with a larger number of students, a higher degree of automation would be very beneficial. Thank you very much for listening. I hope I could raise your interest in our research, and I'm happy if you check out our paper and look at the GitHub repos. In this GitHub repos, you will find the code for the CRX Iceberg and also the steps of the literature review and further material regarding the evaluation of Iceberg. Of course, hit us up here at CHI or contact us via email. My email is magdalena.glas@ur.de.